Albrecht Dürer is also known for his self-portrait, something that we will see more and more from artists as we move forward in time. Now, in 1484, at the age of about 13, he draws what is arguably his first self-portrait, a very simple image, but a very useful image when you're looking at his growth and development. Then he will travel to Italy, and upon returning, he paints himself in the Italian style. So we see a half-length image. We see this landscape in the background, more of an Italian style landscape that we don't typically see in Northern European portraiture. We see him depicted in a three-quarter pose, so he's looking somewhat away from us, or at least facing somewhat away from us. And his clothing is very simple and straightforward. The image is very simple and straightforward. It captures a lot of those Italian ideas of portraiture, idealizing and simplifying the figure without getting at who the character really is. But then we have the self-portrait. And this is done a mere 2 years later. Here we see Durer in this almost Christ-like image with the facial hair and the long hair. But he's separating himself from those images. What he's doing is depicting himself as an artist. And this would have been key. These self-portraits, if you're an artist, would have been important basically as advertising. They're showing your skill and your ability. And of course, you might not be able to afford a model, especially early in your career, so you're using yourself, because almost every artist has a mirror or some other object that they can use to give themselves a reflection of what they look like. His hand is really interesting. His hand is almost in the form of benediction, something we would expect from, for example, a Byzantine or an Italian depiction of Jesus. Something like this. The facial hair and everything else also plays into that, although you'll notice he's altered the hand. The focus on the hand here is not to be Christ-like, but rather as the source of his creativity. After all, as an artist, he's working constantly with his hands. So it does make sense that he's doing that. When we look at it from a Northern European perspective, we also see an incredible element of detail. The robe that he's wearing is fur-lined, and we can almost pick out each of the individual hairs. The hair on his head is again highlighted based on tiny clumps of hair, falling in a very natural form. The background is missing, something that we will see later and that we've seen in the past in Northern European portraiture, and he looks straight at the viewer. He's showing us a great deal of skill and also giving us an idea of who he believes he is. An artist of certain ability, using his hands to further, well, basically his career.